Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello and welcome. I am Taylor. Today I'm going to be sharing with you another what's for breakfast video. I think that this is my third one. I think that's right. So if you haven't seen the other ones, make sure you check the link down below so you can check that out. These are really fun for me to do. Breakfast is like my favorite meal of the day. Anything with like eggs, I just love eggs. So these are some of my favorite videos to film besides my what's for dinners. I'm really glad that you guys have been enjoying these breakfast videos. Remember, these are not everyday breakfasts for us. We usually keep it pretty simple with just like some scrambled eggs, a piece of toast, and some fruit. Sometimes they just eat cereal, but these are the fun ones. The ones that I like to share with you guys when I try something new. So we are going to go ahead and get into the video. As always, any recipes that I used will be linked down below. This morning I am making what my dad always just called egg toast. It's similar to like people who cut a center in the bread and then put the egg in there. Some people make it in the oven, I think, like that, and then some people make it on the stove. My dad always just took a spoon and pressed in the center of the bread to make a little well for the egg. And then we crack the egg in there, put some salt and pepper on top and some cheese on top, and these bake in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes until the eggs are set on 350 degrees. So that's what I'm going to make for breakfast this morning. I'm just going to take the bread, put it all in the pan, and press the center in. This is homemade bread. I feel like it does work a little bit better with store-bought bread. It's a little bit easier to press the bread down into a little well, but this is what we have, so this is what we're working with because this is what we want for breakfast this morning. Okay, here is what it looks like 17 minutes in the oven. This is still just a little bit jiggly, so it'll be a little bit runny, not too much. You could totally leave it in there longer if you want your eggs completely done, like the yolk part. As I said, this was 17 minutes. 15 was not done enough this time. Sometimes, I think depending on the size of the egg, these were large eggs. Sometimes if you do like medium-sized eggs, it takes less time. But it's also going to depend on your oven. But this is going to be our breakfast, some of this egg toast, and then some fruit. I'm currently cutting up some apple, and that will be our breakfast. Okay, for this next breakfast, I am trying something new. I'm trying a recipe for peanut butter banana baked oatmeal. I will have the recipe link down below so you guys can check it out. It sounds delicious, and it will use up some bananas from my freezer. If you didn't know, when bananas start to get brown, you can just go ahead and stick them in the freezer just like this. I'm actually going to stick these back in because I took out some extras. I only need 2 for this recipe. But I don't know about you, whenever my banana starts brown, I'm not in the mood to make banana bread right then. So you just stick them in there like this, and then you pull them out for just a little bit to let them thaw out before you use it, and they slide out of the peel pretty easily. I actually thawed these ones a little bit too long, but it's okay. It'll still taste good, but these will just go back in the freezer, and I'll make either more of this oatmeal if we like it, or some banana bread or something in the future. It's also great for smoothies, so I do that a lot too. So I've got my banana, I've got 2 cups of oats, and it can't be quick oats, it has to be old-fashioned oats. And then we've got some milk, an egg, we're going to use 1 cup of peanut butter, some vanilla, ground cinnamon, salt, honey, and baking powder. And I think that is everything. I think I said everything. And then I've got an 8x8 pan over here that I have sprayed with some cooking spray. And it's going to go in here, and it's going to bake on 350 for, I believe, 45 minutes. Yeah, 35 to 40 minutes. It says it's going to be really liquidy going in, but you're going to bake it until it's nice and browned. I'm going to go ahead and get all the liquid ingredients in this bowl, the dry ingredients in this bowl, mix them up, and then mix them together and get them in our pan. I can't remember if I mentioned that I was making this for breakfast tomorrow, but because it had to bake for so long, this was something I wanted to prep ahead of time. And it says it's good eaten cold or warm, straight out of the oven or warmed up in the microwave. It also says it's good on the counter for 2 days, or you can stick it in the fridge. And I think it said it freezes well too, but I didn't make enough to freeze it. So we've got 9 pieces here. I tried half of one, and it is pretty freaking good. It's soft still. I don't know if that's because it's still warm, but it reminds me of like an oatmeal cookie with peanut butter and banana. It is very good. Definitely would recommend this. Lily just had a little bite, and she said it was good. So we'll have that tomorrow for breakfast, probably with some fruit. And yeah, let me know if you're going to try that. Okay, for this next breakfast idea, I am sharing quick 45-minute cinnamon rolls, and to be honest, it is 8:30 at night, and I want cinnamon rolls, but I don't really like sweet stuff for breakfast. I know some people love pancakes and waffles and cinnamon rolls and stuff like that for breakfast. I'm not the biggest fan of having sweet stuff in the morning, but I know some people are, so I'm going to share this for a breakfast idea, and then, of course, the kids are already in bed, but they will eat cinnamon rolls in the morning as part of their breakfast. I just won't. I'm going to have one tonight as like a late night snack once these are done cooking. So this recipe I have seen Aubrey over at the Frugal Freaks make many times on Instagram. She also has a YouTube channel, which is where I saw the video for this. So I will have that link down below. She did do a link to like the original recipe that she followed. So I will have that link down below as well. I printed it out, but I watched her video like 3 times, so I pretty much know how to do it. So I've got some milk and some water and some flour already in here. That's like 2 3/4 cups. some salt, some sugar, an egg, and some yeast, and some butter. I'm actually going to melt the butter in the microwave. I'm going to mix the milk and the water and the butter in that measuring cup and stick it in the microwave so everything is melted and warm. And that's going to be all of the ingredients for like the dough. And then for the filling, we are going to need the other half of this stick of butter, some ground cinnamon, and some brown sugar. And then for the glaze on top, we will need powdered sugar, vanilla, and some milk. I also forgot to mention that I preheated my oven to 200 degrees because we want our oven to be warm, because these are going to rise once we get them all put together for like 20 minutes in a warm oven. Okay, while I wait for my dough to rise a little bit, I'm going to put my butter in the microwave for probably about 10 to 15 seconds. I don't want it to melt, but I do want it to be a little bit softened because this I took pretty much straight from the fridge. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to mix together 2 tablespoons of ground cinnamon and 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And if you're wondering what's this white stuff down here in my brown sugar, those are marshmallows. They keep your brown sugar fresh. They keep it from getting hard and drying out. You just gotta make sure you don't get a marshmallow in your brown sugar. Okay, the dough has rested for 5 minutes, so now I'm going to roll it out into a rectangle as best as I can. It says about 15 by 9, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to knead it a few times, and then we will get it rolled out. Okay, now we're going to take our butter and spread it all over it, and then we will sprinkle on our cinnamon and sugar mixture. Okay, I think I got it rolled up pretty tightly. Some of my stuff is starting to leak out. Hopefully this still works out. We shall see. I do not have something to cut this with. They said like dental floss or something, and I don't have that. I don't have floss. Yeah, I use like floss picks usually, not actual floss. So we don't have that. I have this pan that I'm going to use. I'm going to use a knife, and I am going to grease this pan, and then I'm going to cover it with aluminum foil. I've got my oven turned off now, and I'm going to stick it in that warm oven for about 20 minutes, and they should rise in that time. Okay, it's been 20 minutes. I just pulled these out of the oven, took the foil off. As you can see, they've risen some. So I'm going to stick them back in, turn the oven on to 375, and then they should bake for 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, while they are baking, I'm going to go ahead and mix together my glaze. For that, I'm going to need 1 cup of powdered sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla, and 2 to 3 tablespoons of milk. So I'm just going to mix that together in this bowl, and then it'll be ready when my cinnamon rolls come out of the oven. These rolls just came out of the oven. I had them in there for 20 minutes. They look so good. I'm about to put the glaze on them and then let them sit for just a few minutes before I eat one. But I will definitely let y'all know how we like them. I'll probably film the kids with them in the morning for you guys. Do you like it?
Yes.
Were you surprised to have cinnamon rolls?
Yes.
I didn't tell them last night that I was making cinnamon rolls. What about you? You like it? Yeah?
Good.
Good. Okay, for the final breakfast for this What's for Breakfast video, I'm going to be sharing with you how I make the breakfast sandwiches for Andy. So I'm going to make the 2-ingredient dough first day. Bake those in the oven, and then I'm going to make some bacon at some point and bake that in the oven, and then I'm also going to make some eggs, and I'm going to make a big whole like sheet pan full of scrambled eggs. So I'm going to show you how to do all that and then how I put it together and freeze them. So for the 2-ingredient dough, if you just want plain old 2-ingredient dough, you just need Greek yogurt and self-rising flour. You just do equal parts of both. I am going to go ahead and make this whole container. I need to measure it out. I can't remember how many cups are in here. So I'm going to measure that out, and then that will tell me how much flour I need. But you could just do 1 cup and 1 cup, and that would make about 4 sandwiches. Usually I do 2 cups and 2 cups, and that makes about 8 sandwiches. I think this is either 2.5 or 3 cups. I cannot remember for sure. I've only made the whole container all at once one time, which was the last time I did it. And then I like froze the sandwiches because I wanted to test it first before I showed it to y'all to see if they froze well. And Andy said they froze great. We just pulled them out the night before for him and stick them in the fridge, and then he microwaves them for just a couple, like 30 seconds I think, and they're good to go. I believe you can microwave them from frozen. He may have done that once when we forgot to pull it out. I have to ask him. If he did, I will leave a little note here on the screen to let you guys know. I'm going to go ahead and measure out my Greek yogurt, get that in here, get my flour in here, and then I'm just going to combine it until it's nice and combined. And then I will put it on a piece of like parchment paper and knead it by hand for a few minutes. This dough is pretty sticky. It's a little bit hard to work with. I like to use cooking spray on my hands to try to keep it from sticking to my hands as much as possible. So I'm about to cook my bacon for those breakfast sandwiches, and I've got a whole pack of bacon. I've got 2 baking sheets laid out. I'm gonna put these on either sheet. I have preheated my oven to 400 degrees. Some say don't preheat, some say do preheat. I do it both. It just depends on whether or not I think about preheating it, which I did today. So I preheated it. I just kind of watch it. I'll put it in there for like 6 minutes, and then I will switch the pans around. Like this one will be on the bottom, and then I'll switch it to the top and put this one on the bottom about halfway through. And then I just like to start checking it to see if it's done at around like 12 minutes. Usually cooks for between 12 and 17 minutes. Just depends on how done you like your bacon. I like cooking it this way because I can cook it all at once. I do really like doing it in the air fryer, like if I just need a little bit. But lately, if I want the whole package cooked at once, I really like doing it in the oven because it takes like the same amount of time and you can do it all at once. So that's what I've been doing. And then it also doesn't like curl up as much. It stays pretty straight. So I like that. But I'm going to go ahead and lay all these out and get these in the oven. This pan took 12 minutes and this is perfectly crispy. I'm going to remove it to this plate with a paper towel. The other one is still in there for another 2 minutes. It had that silicone baking mat on it, and I find that it takes a couple more minutes for things to crisp up on that. So I put that in there for another 2 more minutes. Okay, my oven is preheating to 350. It's time to do the eggs. I think I'm going to do 10 eggs. I think that's what I did last time. 10 eggs, a little bit of heavy whipping cream, you could also just use milk, some salt and pepper, and then I've got this baking sheet. It doesn't need to be sprayed because it is non-stick, but I am going to go ahead and spray it just a little bit, and then these are going to bake for 30 minutes, 20 minutes on 350. Okay, so eggs are done. I'm going to use a spatula, cut them into pieces for the sandwiches, and then I'm going to assemble them. I've got my 2-ingredient dough. I went ahead and cut them all in half. I've got my bacon, my eggs, and I'm going to do cheddar cheese because Andy prefers cheddar over American. And as I said, these are for him on like mornings when he gets up and leaves to go to work before me and the kids get up, so I don't have time to make him breakfast. So they're just something quick and easy he can grab instead of getting something on the way to work. Okay, now I will wrap each sandwich individually in some parchment paper, and then I usually either store it in a gallon-sized Ziploc bag or a little Tupperware container. I don't know if they're all going to fit in here. Maybe I'll do part in here, part in a gallon-sized Ziploc bag, but I wrap them in parchment paper instead of foil because he can just microwave them in the parchment paper, and he doesn't have to worry about taking them out of the foil. These ended up fitting better in a gallon Ziploc bag. So I've got all of the sandwiches in there, and I'm just going to write today's date, which is 3/19, and bacon, egg, cheese, breakfast. And yeah, he will just take these out. Usually I take him out in the evening, put it with his lunchbox when we make that, and then he has it and he can just microwave it before he leaves in the morning, or microwave it when he gets to work. And as I said before, he does like 45 seconds if it's already thawed out. And I will have to ask him what he does if it's still frozen, because I feel like sometimes we might forget to pull it from the freezer, and he's done it from frozen. So I'll ask him and leave a note on the screen and down in the description box. And that is going to wrap up this What's for Breakfast video for March. I hope that you guys really enjoyed it and got some ideas. If you haven't already, I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button down below. I share dinner ideas every Sunday, and I share one of these breakfast videos every month. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!